Good morning. Welcome to the live streaming worship service of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Riverside. I'm Bonnie McFarland, a member of the worship committee, and I will be your worship associate today. We invite you to worship with us with an open mind and an open heart. As we enter into sacred time, created by our presence and shared intent, I invite you to get comfortable. Turn down your phones or other distracting devices. Make a conscious decision to set aside for this 1 hour the self-protective walls we all keep around our heart and our thoughts. Let us remember and explore together what has drawn us to this faith, or learn what this faith is about. And relax. Let the stresses of the outside world slip away as together we focus on this time together. And together we breathe. Although we are now a community connected largely by electronic means, one day we will be together again. Yet even now, we are those seekers with the yearnings to learn, to understand, to make the world a better place, and with the same desire for fellowship. And so we are here seeking that living, interconnected web of which we are a part. Let go of the anxiety, the fears, the expectations of your own or others' making, and join us in this hour of beloved community. And so together we breathe. Our opening hymn this morning is Love Will Guide Us. Please rise in spirit and join us. And because we are Zooming this, nobody will know if you sing off key. For our call to worship, please read with me one of our Universalist Unitarian poems. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to live in harmony with all the living creatures and plants of the earth, this do we affirm. Grace Preuss will be reading for us a sermon by Reverend Lisa Friedman. An excerpt from the sermon suggests the topic well. It is a spiritual paradox. It is precisely because we live in a world which knows the evils of greed and violence and the seas of human indifference that we understand just how sacred it is when our acts of love and compassion actually triumph. And it is precisely because we live in a world which knows such triumphs that we cannot fully give up hope on our imperfect humanity. Reverend Lisa Friedman received her Master's of Divinity from Meadville Lombard Theological School in 1995. Her ministerial record is packed with 24 years of significant accomplishments, publications, teaching, mentoring, leadership development, preaching, and pastoral care, leading congregations through major transitions of growth and service. On August 1st of this year, Reverend Lisa Friedman became the developmental minister at the UU Church of Minnetonka in Minnesota. There are a few announcements we would like to share. During the service, we will mention several websites and email addresses and phone numbers. At the end of the service, we will leave up a slide with all this information, so you don't need to copy things down right now. However, for those needing the information by auditory means, they will be announced verbally during the service. Chat time provides an opportunity to spend an hour talking among ourselves, usually beginning with the service, then wandering on to other topics. It's held on Zoom at 11:30. But to participate, you need a separate Zoom invitation. So please go to our website at uuchurchofriverside.org for the Zoom chat time registration. In 1960, a group from the Pacific Coast Unitarian Council began to explore the possibility of purchasing a summer conference site. Eventually, a Boy Scout camp on the north slope of Mount San Gorgonio at an elevation of 6,800 feet was purchased. The summer of 1962 was the first full use of Camp de Benneville Pines. As Reverend Ray Manker, then a minister of this church, said, "We are ever grateful to the foresight of the Unitarians who recognized the need for a special place where people could gather in nature and breathe clean, crisp mountain air while sharing their ideas about making a difference in the world." Camp de Benneville Pines, named in memory of George de Benneville, is that special place, and it is owned by congregations and fellowships of the Pacific Southwest District of the Unitarian Universalist Association. George de Benneville, by the way, was a Christian Universalist preacher and physician who lived in London and preached and practiced medicine in France and Germany. And this was in the 16 to 1700s, I believe. Religious authorities in several nations were disturbed by evangelists such as de Benneville, and he was sentenced to death on more than one occasion. He eventually migrated to the American colonies, here it is, during the mid-18th century, with others seeking religious tolerance. What were these intolerable beliefs? Well, these included such heresies as a near-death experience convinced him that hell is for purification, not punishment, and that ultimately all will be united with God. He believed that God is absolutely good and in his love would never condemn any human being to eternal damnation. Disgusting. Back to Camp de Benneville Pines. Like the rest of the world, the year 2020 has been difficult for those on the mountain. Camp de Benneville Pines has been affected by both the COVID-19 pandemic and weather events. With the outcomes of the El Dorado fire on the forest, their hopes of potentially reinstating some camps early next year have been banished. They are now working to protect the camp from the fire after effects and subsequent damage from rain and flooding. They periodically look for volunteers to help with various tasks, and they can always use financial donations. To see what's going on, go to uucamp.org. I know people who go up there and volunteer and really love the opportunity. On the first Sunday of every month, we share with you the joys and concerns that we have received from people throughout the month. The next one is December 1st. Be sure to email or text your joys and concerns throughout the month so that you don't forget to our Caring Network Coordinator, Dinah Rowe. Her email is ramblinrose22@yahoo.com, or you can call or text her at 909-645-2885. On October 20th, Riverside County moved back into the more restrictive Tier 1 or purple tier of the governor's 4-tier plan towards reopening. That means churches, along with many other businesses and organizations, must shut down indoor operations. We will continue to keep you updated on Sunday mornings and on the website. Riverside County has long been second in the number of cases in the state, and we are usually also second to Los Angeles in the number of deaths. The county is asking everybody to please get tested. There's no charge and no limit on the number of times you can be tested. For more information, go to rivcoph.org/coronavirus or go to our website. The monthly UUCR newsletter comes out the first of every month by email and per request by postal mail. If you have something you'd like covered or that you want to write, let Dinah know at ramblinrose22@yahoo.com or call or text her at 909-645-2885. We have 2 lightings of sacred flames. The first is the Occupied Indigenous Peoples Remembrance Candle, and the second is the lighting of our own chalice, the symbol of our faith. Let us acknowledge that we walk upon the traditional territories of the Maranga, the original people of this land, who continue to cry out for justice and self-determination. In honor of the Maranga people, we, the Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside, light this sacred flame as the stewards of this sacred and holy place. We are blessed with a space and opportunity to strive to live out our common principles, to bring justice, equity, and compassion into our daily lives, to resist all that threatens the earth and her people, and to live out our dream of a world community of peace, liberty, and justice for all. Let these thoughts carry us forth as we journey and worship together. Our chalice lighting this morning is A Spark of Hope by Melanie Davis. If ever there were a time for a candle in the darkness, this would be it. Using a spark of hope, kindle the flame of love, ignite the light of peace, and feed the flame of justice. Our next hymn is Spirit of Life. Please rise in spirit and join us. And now Dinah Rowe, our church treasurer, will speak to us about sharing our treasure.
Good morning. This portion of our service is how we fund all that we do to care for our congregation and our beloved historic church, and to ensure that when we are able to safely reopen again, we will be here to welcome you all back. A reminder that even though the church is not allowed to reopen at this time, the church expenses continue. Just a few of the expenses which are ongoing are the utilities and insurance, and the administrator, Robert, pays the bills and answers inquiries to the church, plus other things which come up on a daily basis. You can mail your pledge and donations to the church office. Please, no cash. Our church office address is shown here and will be available again later in this program. We have Stater Brothers cards for your grocery shopping that also earns our church a percentage. Please contact me or the church office to purchase Stater Brothers cards. We can arrange to mail them to you if necessary. For those of you who have purchased Amazon gift cards, another way to help is when making purchases through Amazon, go to smile.amazon.com. Be sure to have the word smile in front of it and choose Universalist Unitarian Church as your charity. We receive 0.5% of your qualifying purchases, and also by using your Amazon script card, we receive a percentage from both. I will be taking orders for script cards again as the holiday approaches. Gift cards make good gifts to put in your holiday cards. Please donate by whatever method works best for you. Thank you for your generosity, and to those who give of their time and their talent, thank you for your generous care and attention. Our next hymn is From You I Receive. Please rise again in spirit and join us. We will sing through this 3 times.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share from this we live. From you I receive.
There is something that was intended to be an announcement, but the slide was misplaced. So I will read it now before the planned meditation. President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris have been declared the winners of the hard-fought 2020 presidential election. This has been the most difficult, painful election in my lifetime, and I'm sure I speak for many of you as well. President-elect Biden may not have been the first choice for many of us. Indeed, probably not most of us. But perhaps he is, when all is said and done, the president we need, and he will be the president we have. Perhaps when the country is so very seriously divided and angry, as is the case within many of our families and friends, a mild-mannered centrist is the only one who can begin to put out the flames, not ignite more fires. It will be up to us to continue to be active, to make our will known as the new administration and other electeds settle in. Too often after an election, the voters grumble, but go back to their lives, complain about the politicians, but take no responsibility for their continuing responsibility to let them know what is expected of them. Don't let that happen. It's up to you. Our contemplative reading this morning is Choose to Bless This World by Rebecca Parker. Parts of it will be read by myself, Grace Preuss, and Adam Wedeking. Your gifts, whatever you discover them to be, can be used to bless or curse the world.
The mind's power, the strength of the hands, the reaches of the heart, the gift of speaking, listening, imagining, seeing, waiting.
Any of these can serve to feed the hungry, bind up wounds, welcome the stranger, praise what is sacred, do the work of justice, or offer love.
Any of these can draw down the prison door, hoard bread, abandon the poor, obscure what is holy, comply with injustice, or withhold love.
You must answer this question. What will you do with your gifts?
Choose to bless the world.
The choice to bless the world is more than an act of will, a moving forward into the world with the intention to do good.
It is an act of recognition, a confession of surprise, a grateful acknowledgement that in the midst of a broken world, unspeakable beauty, grace, and mystery abide.
There is an embrace of kindness that encompasses all life, even yours.
And while there is injustice, anesthetization, or evil, there moves a holy disturbance, a benevolent rage, a revolutionary love, protesting, urging, insisting that that which is sacred will not be defiled.
Those who bless the world live their life as a gesture of thanks for this beauty and this rage.
The choice to bless the world can take you into solitude, to search for the sources of power and grace, native wisdom, healing, and liberation.
More, the choice will draw you into community, the endeavor shared, the heritage passed on, the companionship of struggle, the importance of keeping faith.
The life of ritual and praise, the comfort of human friendship, the company of earth, the chorus of life welcoming you.
None of us alone can save the world. Together, that is another possibility waiting.
Now let us pause to share a moment of silence. And now I welcome Grace Preuss to read us the words of Reverend Lisa Friedman. Grace?
Before I go on to the sermon, I'd like to read an affirmation of hope that I found this morning on my phone on the UUA web. I would have liked to have all of you read it along with me. but because we didn't have time this morning, I'll read it for myself. However, I think that next week we'd like to put it up on the screen so that we could all read it together. So this is the Affirmation of Hope by Loretta Williams. From 1980 to 1989, Dr. Williams was director of the section on social responsibility of the Unitarian Universalist Association. We, bearers of the dream, affirm that a new vision of hope is emerging. We pledge to work for that community in which justice will be actively present. We affirm that there is struggle yet ahead. Yet we know that in the struggle is the hope for the future. We affirm that we are co-creators of the future, not passive pawns. And we stand united in affirmation of our hope and vision of a just and inclusive society. We affirm the unity of all persons. We affirm brotherhood and sisterhood that allows us to touch upon each other's humanity. We affirm a unity that opens our eyes, ears, and hearts to see the different but common forms of oppression, suffering, and pain. Yet we are one in the image of God, and we celebrate our hopes for human unity. Within ourselves and within the gathered community, we will discover the strength not to hide in indifference. Affirming that hope, publicly expressed, energizes and enables us to move forward. Together, we pledge action to transcend barriers, be they racial, political, economic, social, or religious. We pledge to make our tomorrows become our todays. Now I would like to read the sermon, Siding with Love, by Lisa Friedman. You never know when the moment of decision will come. Perhaps it is on the school playground when you see the class bully picking on a new victim, or standing in the checkout line at the grocery store behind a young mother whose screaming child has her at wit's end, or at a staff forum at work when your pledge to take some unpaid leave days could help save a coworker's job. Such moments come in different ways to each of us, but they do come. They remind us that the decisions we make in our day-to-day lives do make a difference. They point out the ongoing choices we make between standing uncomfortably on the sidelines of our messy world, unsure of what to do, and acting deliberately in small but concrete ways to help create a kinder, more compassionate reality. They return us to the powerful truth that in critical times, it is possible to stand on the side of love, and in the mystic words, to help its mighty power to surge upward and surmount every obstacle by defending, supporting, and advocating for each other as if we were equals in our humanity. Or do they? After all, are we fallible human beings really that powerful? If siding with love is so significant, then why isn't the world a better place already? Don't most people already think of themselves as siding with love? Or at least as much love as they can manage, given that most of us cannot live as saints? It is a spiritual paradox. It is precisely because we live in a world which knows the evils of greed and violence and the seeds of human indifference that we understand just how sacred it is when our acts of love and compassion actually triumph. And it is precisely because we live in a world which knows such triumphs that we cannot fully give up hope on our imperfect humanity. If there's one thing that I appreciate about our Unitarian Universalist Association's invitation to siding with love in these current times, it is that the invitation invites love as an active force in our lives. So much of our understanding of love can be passive. We talk of falling in love or of being helplessly in love or we assume love's automatic presence in a family or a home or a community, and then we are shocked to learn otherwise. But I do believe that love is more than merely a power that claims us. It is also a power that we claim by choosing our response to the truth of the world. Love is a choice. Whether we are at the bedside of a loved one dying or at the side of a stranger we have only just met. The love which inspires the courage and commitment of such choices is not a sweet or sentimental kind of love. Rather, it is a love which recognizes the greater good and the bonds of kinship of which we are a part. But once we accept love as a choice, then we must also come to terms with where that choice leads us. This was a profound and radical insight of our Universalist forebears, that if love comes from God, then there can be no exceptions. Love cannot be just for one or some of us. If it is for any of us, it must be for all. Love cannot be just for those with loud voices, but also for the voiceless. Love cannot be just for those with power, but also for those who are marginalized. Love cannot be just for those who still hope, but also for those who despair that help and hope will never come. So take a moment to reflect on this particular time in your own life, in the lives of your family and friends, and in the state of our community and our world. Who needs us to side with them in love? What moral questions does our commitment to love call us to address in the coming year? I don't have the answers, nor are the choices only mine to make. But I lift up these questions to spark a conversation as individual people who care about this world and as a community of faith, memory, and hope. Recently, reflecting on the opportunities to stand for love, a friend of mine asked, why does it have to be a side? Must there always be a side? I understand her regret. The last thing our world needs is more division. One answer might be that the call to siding with love is made in the spirit of inclusion. But I also think that we are being invited to occupy a new place, or on a new side, of understanding about what it means to live spiritually in our world. Love is a choice. It is a deep, life-changing passion, not just for our hearts, but also for our souls.
Thank you, Grace. Our closing hymn is "We Shall Overcome." Please rise in spirit and join us. For our benediction, please close your eyes and reach out to each other in your thoughts. Feel the connection between us, the interconnected web, joining us as a community, a church family. Our benediction is Holy and Generous Love by Elena Westbrook. Go in hope, for the arc of the universe is long and we can bend it toward justice. Go in courage, for together we have the strength to confront injustice in our daily lives and the larger world. Go in love, because a holy and generous love is both the reason and the means by which we transform our lives. Amen, shalom, and blessed be.